Hello guys, today we're going to create a very simple Flask web application that would allow us to run a web scraper from the browser directly. So here I have a simple scraper that is called proxy scraper, which scrapes content from freeproxylist.net, this kind of site here. And let me just quickly show you how it works basically. So if you just open the terminal here and quickly type Python 3 scraper.py, click, scraper.py like this, it would produce the CSV file in return, and let me just quickly show you that. So I'm not opening it in my text editor. For some reason after that it starts lagging just slow as hell, and that's a weird disaster, so not really going to open that file in my text editor. Instead I just use a LibreOffice to show you the output result of this file. So here we got a list of the proxies scraped directly from freeproxylist.net. So that's kind of the functionality of the scraper itself. So I just delete this file for now. Yes, and this is from my previous unsuccessful attempt to record this video. Okay, so let's actually start writing some code. So first we need to import Flask itself. So I say from Flask import Flask. Of course, I hope you have the Flask installed on your system, otherwise you have to do this via the pip manager, saying pip install Flask. That's kind of it. And now let's create the app instance itself, which is equals Flask name, and provide a quick driver. Say if name equals to main. In this case we want to say app.run, enable the debug mode while debug equals to true, and also threaded equals to true. Also enable the threaded mode, so to make this app work not in a single threaded mode but in a multi-threaded mode instead. So now we need the last thing to actually see something in the browser. We need to create a route, so I say app route, and this would be the very root. So I say def root and return, let's print something to screen basically. Okay, can't be reached. Okay, just app.py. Okay, just need to, okay. So here we have our root, but we don't really want to return the text, but what is known as HTML template instead. So to make that possible, we need to make another little import here. So I say from Flask import template renderer, which would enable so-called Ginger render template that is default to Flask. Okay, and sorry, not the template renderer like this. What have I done? I mean, this function is called render template. Render template. Okay. And the render template method, by default, it looks to the templates directory. So here we need to create a file called, let's call this home.html. Okay, and now let's type here something, and here let's return actually render template and home.html. Okay, something wrong. Just a typo here, so template like this. Okay, so now we have our HTML file represented in the browser. Okay, so basically now let's draft a quick HTML layout here. So HTML head and body tag, and title, let's go with scrape wrap title. And also we need to import a bunch of links to actually enable Bootstrap, CSS, front-end library, and also the Jquery plugin that is called Datatables. And let me just show you this in a moment. So save. So when we have a look at the freeproxylist.net, we see a cute table here, and this table is actually what is known as Jquery Datatable plugin, and we can see the Datatable plugin site here containing all the documentation and basically everything we need regarding the data tables is available on this site, datatables.net. So now that we will be rendering the results provided by our scraper in this sort of tables with automatic pagination, search, sort of column ordering, and we can also switch the number of entries shown. So Datatables is really cool. So we in order to use this, oh my god, I just forgot my face to turn on. So in order to have this sort of plugin in our site, we need to import this bunch of stuff. So here we have the Bootstrap Datatables. Responsive data table is needed to draw this cute green plus buttons that allows actually to show those columns that are not that do not fit the width of the entire table. So stuff like that. Also here we provide the Jquery library itself. These two guys are Bootstrap min.js and Bootstrap bundle min.js, which is needed to serve the Bootstrap CSS library itself to have all that responsive stuff, and also the Jquery Datatables and responsive and Jquery Datatables responsive scripts that allow to provide this sort of functionality of responsive tables with this cute little green buttons here. So that's regarding the imports here. So, and also we need actually to provide a table itself, but before that let's create a simple layout for our body. So now I'll be using some Bootstrap classes. So div class is equal to container, and then div class is equal to row, and div class is equal to column, and this. Let's quickly check this stuff out. So okay, great. And also scraper app title is enabled now. Okay, now I just want to write a little cute card here. So I say div class equals to card. And div class equals to card body. So we have our card, and now let's create some computer here. Free proxy list scraper. Okay, so I want the card body to enable the text center. Okay, and now we want a little separator here, so if memory serves me correctly, this is then somehow like this. Okay, now we got the separator, and now we need to create some sort of a form in order to be able to submit the button click. So within the form we would have the button class BDN, well, let's call this BDN success, to have a cute green button, and this button would be titled scrape. Okay, so here we have our scrape, and we've just submitted the form. Not sure how to provide the method, probably like this. Method is equal to post, and I should get an error at the moment while clicking this button. Okay, so that's because the method isn't defined here in the route. So here I say methods equal get and post. So the get method would cover the basic browser request for the page, while the post would distinguish the need to run the scraper. So that's kind of how we're going to implement this. Well, of course, we can separate the rules and make the form submit data to some sort of another route and then to redirect back. But I just wanted to keep things as simple as possible. That's why I'm using. I'm not really redirecting somewhere away from this form, but just simply using the post method to request the particular route. So here we would just distinguish, so say if request, so just in order to use the request we need to import it first. So say from Flask import request. So if request method is equal to get, then we'll just be returning this render template and say else let's return some string to make sure that we handle the post request correctly. So let's call this run scraper for now. So I don't want, just want, oh come on, okay, I forgot a colon after the else here. Okay, and I click scrape, and here the post request is handled correctly. So if I just go here again, then the get request returns the scraper, returns the view. We will be returning the view as well, even after clicking the scrape button, but that will be covered a little bit later on. So, okay, let's get back to, don't really need these links anymore, so let's get back to home. And actually, after the form, we can define our table. So I say table class display responsive. Responsive is needed to show that tiny little green button on the left. I'm not sure if that would be available actually. Well, I'm not sure, but let's just keep this for a while. And we also want the text left for the table, because remember that the card body centralizes all the text that is within this class, so we need to text left in the table tag. And also we need to specify the style, saying width 100% like this. So let's let's close the table tag. And I'm not really yet that sure how exactly I'm supposed to implement this stuff, but okay, in any case we need to provide the table head like this. Okay, yeah, I'll just pause the video later on, just try to figure out what would be the best way of doing things actually. And here, create a row, table row, and now we need to provide the column names within the th or table header tags. So just go here and simply grab these guys. Can I do this? Okay. Copy. I'm not sure that's exactly the all the names, but we'll need to check that out in the output CSV file later on. Okay, so just support code country anonymity Google. And was checked. Okay, so here we got our table, and I just want to put this a little bit lower here, maybe a bit more lower. Okay, like this would be just kind of fine, I believe. Okay, well, yeah, so okay guys, just hold on a sec, let me think what is the best way to handle what I actually want to show you. Okay, since I got the basic idea, okay, but before that, let's actually add one more separator of the button here. So make it like this, and okay, it looks much better now, so we don't even need, in that case, we don't even need that much of space. Okay, so at this moment, when we click the scrape button, we're actually ready to execute our scraper code. So let's actually implement that just right now. So in order to run the scraper, we need actually to export the class called proxy scraper, and that's basically the reason why it's really so handy, and why generally it's a good practice to wrap your scrapers into the classes, so it can be easily imported into, well, say the Flask web application, for example. That's really kind of cool. So I'm not sure if I can import only the proxy scraper. Well, probably I need to import all of this stuff to actually make run it properly. So let's actually try doing this. So try doing this. I say from scraper. So from scraper, what that means. So it references the file called scraper.py and the same folder where app lives. So that's kind of it. So if this would say live in a folder called I don't know, some scrapers, then this would be called like this: scrapers, the folder name, and then the name of the scraper itself, or the file itself, the module. So I say from scraper, let's basically try to import all. And well, I really hope okay, they create the cache directory, but it didn't actually run the scraper, so as far as no CSV file appeared here, so that's good. So scraper, so why this doesn't actually run? Because of this little condition here. So that's the reason why I always write this line in the very end of every scraper that is available on this channel, for example. So if you don't provide this sort of line, then each time you will be importing the scraper or whatever class into another files, then this code that would actually run, that actually makes it possible to run run the class, to create the instance and to run the class. So these lines would be executed, but if you have this condition here, it won't be actually executed. So that's the reason of this mysterious Python line of code. Condition whether to execute the code if we directly reference the file, or we directly running the file, or if we just reference, and in that case it won't be forced to run immediately, only after we create a new instance and run that respectively. So actually over in here, what we really want to do is actually, well, first of all, let's actually try to return exactly the same sort of appearance. So from the user perspective, he doesn't kind of have to care much about whether this is a GET request or POST request, so he has to see just exactly the same page, but the only reason it would be after the POST request here an HTML table would appear, so that's kind of difference. So now it's time to create the scraper instance. So I say scraper is equal okay, so I need okay, if I import all, I probably can simply say I can use the variables from this site. So from that file, so say proxy scraper. I think that just works fine. And scraper.run. Okay, and now if we click the scrape button, then I'm supposed to see a new file with the scrape data over here. So I just click scrape. Okay, nothing yet appears on the screen, but we already have our scrape file here. So proxies.csv. Okay, so I just leave this for a while, so we don't need this for now. And now what we actually want to do is open that file. Well, actually we can, instead of, yeah, guys, let's actually, I got an idea. So instead of we probably can reference the results directly. I just wonder. So yeah, so we can reference the results directly. Let's try to return as far as that is in the what kind of format. Oh, it's not it's probably the list of lists, so we can't return that directly, but okay, let's just try and see what the error we're gonna face here. So scrape didn't, so it needs, so yeah, not a valid response. If we just stringify this list, probably won't be exactly what I want to have here. Okay, no, we have actually, so we just, yeah, so that's kind of the response we have. Okay, I actually got used to work with some sort of a list of dictionaries instead of list of yeah, instead of list of lists, but still. So Okay, so at the moment we run the scraper and it produces the result of the proxies that has been scraped, but we don't actually want. Okay, but we can we can pass this results as the argument. So okay, I just want to make sure that we can reference the results in that sort of manner. So here what the render template function allows us to do, it actually allows us to provide some Python variables to the HTML views, and then using the so-called Jquery template renderer we can reference those variables. So let's call this proxies, and this would be equal to scraper.results, like this. So okay, and I also wonder, can we use, well, we need to distinguish the GET request and the POST request from each other within this home page as well. So okay, let's just quickly, to be honest, I didn't kind of yet done that before in this sort of way, so let's just try to check that out. So when we want to use the Jquery template renderer, we're using this sort of format. So say if request method is equal, well, let's say get, and here and if, so that's the format. So well, let's just basically type something at least. So let's type okay, let's type get and else. Let's type post. So continue. Okay, so here we got the post. Okay, get, and here we got the post. Okay, that's just great. So yeah, that's exactly what we're supposed to do kind of here. So we need to render something only in case we have okay, if we just let's make a tr here. I just want to print this message below the headers. No, not post. Oh, that's because, okay. So request is equal to get. Okay, get. So okay, probably let's make this after the table here. And if I just want to say kind of like no data yet. And let's make it div class and t4 just to put this a little bit down, and div. Okay, and now actually want to loop over the rows. So I say for row in proxies, and we would probably use indexes instead of dictionary keys, as if it was a list of dictionaries. Okay, so first I just want, and in order to display the variable, we need to use this double curly braces. So let's just try to print the row, and I hope to see many rows here. So just click scrape. Nothing. That's strange. Okay, let's check this out. So scrape results. Proxies. Okay. Okay, let's just try. Okay, it's fine. Okay guys, just let me find out what's gonna run here. Okay, probably it's because we need to, of course, provide if post there, so continue. Okay, now this is it. So let's use the row instead. Okay, and now let's try some indexes. So just hope. Okay, yeah, now it works. So now we use the indexes to reference the particular column, basically like that. 6. Oh my god. 6, 7. What am I doing? Oh, 7, 8. Okay, seems like I missed something. So last check has to be. Okay, is there a kind of number 9? So okay. Okay, just I need to check the layout of the file to make sure I did cover all of the columns there. So okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So kind of 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is gonna be the last one. But in that case, just a bit wondering. Okay, just probably forgot this table clause. Okay, now it looks like much better. But I'm just wondering why country anonymity Google HTTPS. Oh, so it was nothing about this kind of Google here. Well, I'm not really that sure. Okay, guys, just pause the video again. Okay, as always, I just missed the index, so there is also a country there. So now it should work fine. So 8 line like this, and continue. But hold on a sec. I'm just wondering why it doesn't search for the last checked, and okay, yeah, that's because being almost 33 years old, I still didn't learn to count. That's the reason. So 5, 6, 7. 8 and 9. Okay, great. Now we have exactly the same table. Well, probably it's too narrow to wrap the values, and so this little green button would appear. So, but I will try to cheat a bit. So, try to put this into some sort of a div to make it kind of more narrow. But also, after adding this bootstrap table class, we don't really need this HR anymore. So, just try to get rid of that. Okay, so let's check this one more time. So if we go just to the get, just regularly go into the very root of the app and just click the scrape, run the scraper, make a post request, and this is it. So we're gonna create a new we were kind of creating table here. So now, as you can see, this table is kind of 300 entries long. Well, you can't see that, but I just know that for sure. So now it's actually time to apply the Jquery Datatables plugin here. So I'm not basically that 100% sure regarding is that really gonna work that great when so it would only work if the table is available, if the data is available within the table, but that happens only in case of post requests. In case of get requests, it won't be really available. So if it just involves the developer console on Chrome or Firefox, that probably might have appeared some warning or even some error, but that doesn't really matter that much. Okay, so so body. Hey, I'm not sure why is that. Okay, this div container. Okay, so I just put my script over here. So script. Type is equal text JavaScript, and here we need to use the jQuery selector to actually select our table, and in order to do that we need to provide our table some sort of an ID. So let's call this proxy table like this. So reference the proxy table here, and now simply call the data table method on it, just like this. Well, I just don't really remember that by heart, so let me just quickly reference to the data tables minimal example. Oh, well, that is actually enough. The only thing I forgot is just to wrap this with this document ready kind of stuff, but it would probably work even like this. Not sure, but let's actually try this. So, okay. Oh, and only one column is shown because data table has already been initialized, as you can see here. It's not really that bad, but it's not exactly what we want actually. Well, okay, still doesn't seem to work for some reason. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, guys, just let me quickly handle that. Okay, guys, probably I just simply separate the rows, so it seems really weird to distinguish the post and get request within the JavaScript. Nobody probably really kind of does that, so I'll just okay, just take this script away and just create another route here. It's called results dot HTML, and well, in this case I would probably need to use the single layout here. Well, I didn't really want to do that, but probably okay, I still have to do that. Okay, so let's create another file called layout.html. So okay, so now I actually grab all this stuff, paste it into the layout, and now get rid of everything but okay, card is okay, so get rid of this stuff, so table form, so everything up to divs here. Here we would have two blocks called, I mean, no, not two blocks, we have one body block, say block body like this, and block and every single view would actually have only the view itself like this. So okay, yeah. Here I want to specify that this file extends layout.html, and this is actually our block body. I didn't really want to do this, just trying to keep things simple, but it seems like this should have been done actually. Okay, so and block. Now it would also probably give me a ton of errors. Yeah, but that's fine. So let's try to. Okay, so I just did get stuff. Okay, but I'm just wondering. Okay, just try to restore the server. Okay. No data yet. Okay. Okay. And still not sure why this kind of works. Oh, that's because it returns exactly the same template. Yeah, that's the reason. So, okay, now let's go to the results. And we actually we need only the table body here. No, let's take the entire table. Well, let's actually take kind of everything, just to make it look like the same page from the user perspective. I just don't need this post anymore. Okay, so we don't need, do we need the form here? Okay, so let's get rid of this button as far as this is results. Yeah. And actually let's redirect the form. Okay, so here and here instead we don't need a table now. So we don't need a table. Let's actually, okay. Get and action would be, action defines the route where we want to redirect our form submission, so results like this. Okay, so no data yet, and scrape the request result is not found. Well, that's not found because we didn't yet specify, don't need this stuff, because we didn't yet specify the corresponding routes. So app route and results, results, no conditions needed anymore, like this. And here we want to render results instead of home. Okay, so let's update this and scrape. Come on, what do you mean? Oh, result needs to be results instead. Okay, update, scrape. Okay, so now it's much better. Okay, yeah, I like it. I really like it. Now, so, and basically now what we actually can do, we can invoke this Jquery plugin here. Just grab this code and go into the results, and here let's provide the script one more time. Type is equal text JavaScript, paste the stuff. Okay, Still data tables doesn't work. Oh, that's because it's not the my table but proxy table. Okay, proxy table. Scrape. Still doesn't work. I'm just wondering why. Okay, this means that table is somehow malformed. Okay guys, hold on a sec. Okay, again I see that there's kinda a couple more of cells in the body compared to the cells in the head, so okay, let's just try to get rid of this too. Okay, finally, yeah. So that was just, I don't know why did I add those guys. So it's only 8 here. So now the data table has been initialized. Did initialize actually, it seems. Well, but why on earth still? Still doesn't like something. Oh my god. Just scrape again. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Just figure out where was the problem. I forgot to close the TR tag. That's the reason it didn't work properly. And also in home I changed this button and form submission to simple kind of link with the H reference. It looks like absolutely the same due to the usage of the same bootstrap class, but still we don't really need this form anymore. So just go back to the root here. So it's the same kind of button, but it's not a button anymore, it's kind of link. And we go to the results. Just spends a bit of time and I hope the data table plugin finally work. Ta-da! Okay, so this is kind of it. So now we can loop over the pages and actually group by various features like this. So can also search, say only 5 minutes like this. Doesn't work. Okay, forget that. So let's just try look for relate proxy and get a list of those. Okay, so that's the features of the data table. Now this is great. Now let's basically check this out one more time. So the very last, so let's update the freeproxylist.net. So this is how it looks like at the moment. So IP address 1 minute ago, lit proxy India, and okay, so let's try to scrape, and I hope to see the same results there as well. Okay, just probably okay. 1 minute ago, India. Well, the data table kind of sorts the data in some sort of a default standard way. I'm not sure. That might be the reason why it really looks different. So okay, let's try to find this port 53281. Okay, 53281. Okay. Oh, but it's not. But it's not in India. Oh my God, it's not in India. Okay, so just go for India. Okay. And can it? Still. Okay. Okay, so I just want to try to delete the proxies again. Well, I'm not sure, maybe there's some sort of a delay or something, not sure why it doesn't really get absolutely the same result, but well, at least in CSV file that should be just fine, I hope. And okay, let's try this one more time. So 1 minute ago, so it actually probably searched for the latest, by the latest. Okay, let's scrape. Oh, it just last checked 6 seconds ago, so probably, okay, nope. 1 minute ago, 1 minute ago. And country, okay, 1 minute ago, Korea, 1 minute ago, doesn't work for some reason. Well, okay, so that's not really that much kind of the topic of this video, but I swear, guys, that this data is scraped from data from free proxy list. I'm not sure about the ordering, so it probably gives some sort of a different order. Well, but still, the idea here is actually to simply provide, okay, so the visual results for the scraper that has been launched from within the web interface. So okay, I just try to add the Swill HR separator over in here for, as far as data table is used. It would be really cute to have some like 4 okay, yeah, let's have it like this. Oh, just the scraper is running, yeah. Okay, and now it's done. Okay, so well, probably the very last feature that we would like to add here is adding some sort of a download button that would allow us actually to download the scrape results as the CSV file. So in order to achieve that, here below the table, I'd like to create a button, or maybe that would be the link. Yeah, that would be the link as well. The link again. Okay, say reference equals to download route, and class is equal bdn primary, and here say download, and like this. And also we need to handle the download route here, so I say app route download download, and here we want to use the method that is called send from directories, so we need to import it first. So from Flask import send from directory. So we just want to return send from directory. the folder to return from would be equal to nothing, because we want to return from the folder where the app lives. Well, if this proxies would be, say, in the data folder, here we would need to specify the data folder, and at some point it might be useful to use the absolute path to that. Well, but that's not the case at this particular moment. Then we need to provide the file name itself, and we already know that this file is called proxies. Of course, this can be the user-defined file name, but that's just focused at the very gist. And I'm not sure how the parameter called as attachment, probably, or is attached. Attachment equals to true. I'm not sure. Well, at least in any case, this would give me an error if something will go wrong. So, okay, let's update. Try to scrape again. Okay, and here we have the download button, and yeah, we got the proxies. So let's just open this in the browser. Okay, let's just okay, just hold on. I'll make this one more time. So start from the very beginning. So scrape. Okay, and download. There we got it. Okay. Okay. And the very first, let's just compare it to the free proxy. Okay, now this is it. So Korea 44072. Yeah, elite proxy. So well, the CSV actually represents the data from free proxy list, that not exactly in the order as that is presented on the site, and that's pretty logical, basically. So while for some reason this data table plugin doesn't sort the data absolutely the same way as that happens over here, so well, that doesn't really matter that much. So probably this might be the different versions, and definitely the different configurations of the data tables. Okay guys, so let's basically summarize what we've learned today. Yeah, so we actually did import, well, first we actually created a very simple basic Flask web application containing 3 routes. So the very first route contains the button to invoke our web scraper that is connected to the application. So the scraper file is over in here. It's wrapped in the class. So when we click the scrape button, what happens? So we're just being redirected to the results page, and here in the results route, we create a scraper and an instance called the run method of the scraper, and the scraper basically runs. Basically kind of runs, so that's it. And after before, before, when we're returning the rendered template, we pass the scrape results. So after the scraper.run has been invoked here in the scraper, this results list was populated by the data from the corresponding site. In our case, this was freeproxylist.net. So after the results has been populated, we've passed them as the second parameter. We created a variable called proxies. You can call this whatever you want, and then in the results we did loop over the proxies variable, and we did insert browse into the table in order to represent the CSV file as the HTML render template just right in the browser. And then we've applied this data table plugin to pre-print the table in this sort of format to provide all this orderings and the search possibility, and also showing a different amount of entries if needed, and the pagination is available. And the very last thing we've implemented is this little download button that actually sends the file from the directory to make it possible to actually download within your browser. So that's kind of the functionality of this particular application. Okay guys, this is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed this and learned something interesting and useful, and until the next time, and take care.